Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you already know, if you have already found me, that there is not one way to swing a golf club. You are not a golf pro, but there are things that we can do to help you achieve the best golf of your success. Today I'm going to be talking about the shove, heave, or sling back motion and how that can create speed and different variations for you and what you feel comfortable with, and then letting the golf club rest at the top and then throw. And we'll talk about how that goes with pressure shifts, etc. This will be fun for you. It should be easy for you to do at home and to see which one that you really are. And then this could probably maybe end some of that confusion on what you guys do before the golf club goes away. So if you like this stuff, like and subscribe and share. It makes a huge difference in my life, reaching more people, being able to do more content. Again, I'm only about 6-7 weeks away from leaving the golf course. And once I do that, then I will be traveling and doing lots of other videos at locations and having challenges against other golf pros and things like that. So the more you guys like, subscribe, share, more content I can bring to you like this. All right, so let's get into it. So the number one thing that everybody is trying to figure out is, are they lead leg or are you trail leg? Simple and fair, right? And I've done a couple tests where you've done right leg and left leg only, if you've seen that. And I've also done it where if you have a tendency to turn your body, this would be a trail leg, and this would be a lead leg, and this would be middle. Fair enough. Also, and this is what you're going to learn today. Now I have the slingshot, which I love. I only promote a couple products, and the only products that there's a reason for it. Okay. When you use a slingshot, you can let the tool help you develop a better swing. Okay. So what I mean by that. So here's how we're going to get into figuring out which one that you are as you do this. So pay attention. When equal and opposite forces, if I go, whatever I go this way, whatever amount of force, not weight, this is weight like a teeter-totter, okay? It's whatever weight. So whatever pressure goes this way, all right? And whichever kind of angle. So I can go more this way a little bit, more this way a little bit, more this way a little bit, and it'll push you the opposite direction. And the speed that it does it. So how does this pertain? So I can go fast. You have to load the gun each time, that's why I do that. Okay, there's like a firing pin in here. So I can go fast this way. Well, instead of thinking about how to go fast this way, I'm not going to use my hands because I wouldn't go fast that way. I would simply push the ground this way. But I don't want you to think about, because when I'm teaching this, and I've had some aha moments when I'm teaching people with all my Zoom lessons and membership stuff, is they'll turn their body. And when you turn your body to try to put pressure, you actually are putting it this way. So let's get into it. So you want to feel like that you shove it or heave it or sling it back. Like there's a weight that you're trying to move quickly this way. So if you're doing that, you see I have to put pressure this way to this way. I'm not thinking about putting pressure here. I'm just letting it go. So now this is what it would look like. Ready? Now, what is that motion? I'm in my trail leg. Is that incorrect? No, that's for somebody who's trail leg. So if I do that again, okay, now that person from here will then let this gather. You'll feel your foot shift, and then you'll throw. So it would look like this. Okay, and that is a trail leg movement pattern. When you shoved it back, you let your weight and your head move off the ball a little bit. That's okay. Tiger Woods did that in 2000, won 4 majors. Is that wrong? Nope. Okay. Now let's see if all of a sudden your lead leg, if you keep your head on center and you make that same motion, same speed, and you sling it back. Hey, I'm lead leg. Okay. No problem with that. And then you throw. So you get the feeling of that. All right. Well, what happens if all of a sudden you don't have the core type strength to do that? You don't like, by the way, those are all pretty quick, right? because whatever force I'm putting, the speed of the golf club goes away. So I can now make it where, hey, I want to do the compound pivot, but also want to do it kind of quick. So I'll load the gun and you'll hear it. Now, what makes this snap? We'll get into that, okay? When I roll my right foot and push my left down and I'm kind of quick, you'll see you didn't hear anything, even though that was decently fast. Why? Because when you take a weight and you sling it, this wrist is doing this on the back. And as soon as it does that, it pops, okay? When you do a compound pivot like a Sam Snead, Jack Nicklaus, etc., even though it's quick, everything goes together here and loads here quietly, and then the wrist moves finishes cocking the whole way up here. So there's no snap. So then when I shift over, the snap is through the ball. So when you get a slingshot and you're doing a compound pivot and you hear it snap, you probably are not quite, you see how that looked funny, right? It's not the same. So these are totally different methods when you use this, or you don't even have to use this. You could just use a regular driver, 3-wood, whatever, but you'll start to get the feeling of loading and unloading a little quicker, like when you use the slingshot. But I digress. So when we go from here, now I can make a little motion back and have a little and then let it coast. So if I was just gonna heave a little bit, so let's just say that feels comfortable to me in my rhythm, in my tempo. So now it's gonna be, and now I'm letting this coast. So the momentum that I do this allows the golf club to now swing and kind of give it own momentum. So you'd see that that could be the same thing. Watch. That's trail. As you can see, I didn't really make much motion. And then it goes through. But I'm literally not, and this is the difference. I hate trying to paint by numbers and put a golf club here. There are select cases that doesn't feel this, okay? So that doesn't mean that you're wrong, because I can just literally put the golf club with hand path in the correct place and I'm on plane. But I didn't really use ground forces. But if someone's never felt their hands move correctly, then sometimes I have to teach them that. So that's the reason why you'll see me do these kinds of things where my hand, and I teach them how the left hand works and the right hand works and all that kind of stuff. So, but I hate that because you don't get momentum, ground pressures, and all of those kinds of things that happen. So as you progress with this, you'll kind of find out the golf club now can just move freely. So if I'm literally right here, you'll see how my right hand makes that motion and you don't have to think about it. So when I say shove it back to find out, pause, now where's that? Lead leg, and then throw. Now when I'm throwing, I'm not pulling down. I'm letting this momentum go, and my hand and arm is going right to the target in an underhand fashion, and I am releasing my hand and my arm. Now I'm not doing, it might look like I'm doing, or feel like I'm doing this, but as long as, I want you to, as long as, even if I'm, so if I'm trail or lead, okay? So watch the difference, I'm gonna throw, there goes my arm. Now my hand is moving right now. See, my hand is spinning, because, now why? Because a lot of people have a hard time with this. If I do this, my forearm doesn't move, my hand doesn't move. Watch what happens when I move my arm. See, my arm is going under. That makes my shoulder go external. And that's what allows that golf club to be in this position where my hand is in front of my knee and then to unwind and throw. That can't be more clear, okay? Anyone that ever thinks of pulling the club down is doing a strong disservice here, because now it looks like I've held my lag here, but now I've got nothing here to hit with as I have to now turn and hold. That is so much slower than from here having this happen. This forearm and arm and shoulder rotate, and that's what makes the golf club release. So whether or not I am shoving it back in a lead leg from here, By the way, I'm gonna make it all one motion so you guys can see it. I'm not even thinking about the downswing when I do this. When I do this, okay, so you'll see, can you see how that one was trail? Because I let my head move, right? And then this one, you can see how, sorry, I gotta load the gun. You can see how that is here, from there. Now you throw, okay? I really hope this helps. Ask me any questions, leave comments. I do this channel for you guys. I've got a code on this. Send me on the comment like, hey, where can I get this code for the slingshot? And I'll put it and I'll paste it down there in the comment section for you guys. I'm here for you. I appreciate all that you do. Go to rkswingking.com where I do the Zoom lessons, because what you think you do and do are two different things. Everybody, God bless. Have a great day.